Welcome to Raising Awareness with Yeon-mi Park. Today in this video, I am going to talk about North Korea's education system. When I was growing up there, I only attended total of 2 years of school because I was very poor. Even though it's a socialist system, things are very unequal. The people on the top, like Kim Jong-un and his sister, they go to Switzerland to be educated. Other elites, they go to China, Moscow, UK, even Germany, everywhere in this world to learn things. But for the average people, the education is really not the same. I never seen the map of the world when I was in school. I never knew even how the world looked like. North Korea's school system begins for 1 year age between 5 or 6. After that, there's 4 years of elementary school. After that, there is 6 years of secondary education. It's more like a middle school plus high school in America. So total 11 years of free education, supposedly, according to the government. The entire purpose of North Korea's education is mystifying and glorifying the leaders and Kim dictators and the Communist Party of North Korea. In schools, we learn grammar and math, basic things. Even though when we do math, it goes like this. There are 4 American bastards. You killed 2 of them. Then how many American bastards left to kill? And as 5, 7 years old, you say, 2 American bastards. And they do also teach conjugation. They say, we killed Americans, we are killing Americans, and we will kill Americans. That's how North Koreans learn conjugation in schools. Among all these other subjects like math, physics, biology or history, you can fail at them all of it. But the one subject you cannot fail is revolutionary history of Kim dictators. If you fail at these subjects, you are going to get in trouble. So no matter what we don't study other subjects, when you are in school, we really have to, wholeheartedly to learn about this propaganda from the regime. In schools, we learn that our first Kim dictator, Kim Il-sung, ended World War II, and he freed entire humanity. They teach us that how the entire universe adores him and worships him and envious that we are his people. More than that, they say that Korean War started by American bastards. That is literally one word in North Korea. There's no Americans or Japanese. It has to be American bastards or Japanese imperialists. That they say South Koreans were colonized by Americans, and it is our duty to free our South Korean sisters and brothers from Americans' colonization. So even though the regime says, in this socialist system, free education, free healthcare, literally everything is free, but it's not free. In schools, even though it says it's free tuition, when we go to school, teachers demand cash, demand skins of rabbit. They literally say they need that because they wanna make our soldiers winter coat with those rabbit skins, and they ask us to bring the metal, paper, rubber, glass, literally anything. They demand that from us. We are so poor. That's why I couldn't go to school more than 2 years entire my time in North Korea. Most of children in North Korea do not go to schools, and especially outside of Pyongyang, the capital, that children do not get educated and do not really know how we evolved as humans. And things that we learn is not like evolution or Big Bang. The things that we learn is all about how Kim Il-sung bravely defeated his enemies and protecting us, and how lucky we should be. Even though North Korean regime in school taught me that South Korea was very poor and suffering because of capitalism, the real fact is that South Korea, as a tiny country, now is the largest economy in this world. However, in America, the purpose of education is teach people how to think critically. So after this entire years of brainwashing, some of North Koreans, the ones who are lucky to have family connections and born into the right family, only over 13% of them go to pursue higher degree, and which means going to universities or colleges. After going through this vigorous propaganda and brainwashing, some of the lucky ones, only about 13% of them go to pursue higher degree and go to colleges and universities around North Korea. So after you graduate from high school or university, you need to go through this job replacement by the government. The North Korean government decides what you need to work on for the rest of your life. The jobs they place you are like being a doctor, farmer, plumber, literally pretty much every basic job. Depending on where your family status belongs to, the government decides where your levels are. And that's why our life is determined before I was even born. But even if you're elite and becoming a doctor's salary is $1 a month. You cannot even survive with that money in North Korea for one day. And if this is what medical doctors get paid, like other professions, like people working in the factory or in the farms, of course it's not even close to $1. That's what we get from the government to survive. And this automatically results in famine and starvation and a lot of death of North Koreans. So when I escaped to South Korea, everyone was telling me that, the Kims were dictators and they were brainwashing its people and they were having this ultra luxurious life. I didn't believe it because all my life in North Korea, I believed that Kims were hungry like us. I literally was singing songs every New Year saying, "Dear leader, please rest, it hurts my heart. Please take some nap or eat right. You don't need to work that hard for me." And I was literally crying. But in South Korea, people say, like, obviously Kims are not hungry. Look at the photo. Like, he is the fattest guy in the picture. And this is the importance of the critical thinking skill that I learned. Because I did not learn how to think critically, even though it was so obvious in all those photos, Kim was the only big fat guy, and rest of the soldiers were so hungry. And even looking at that fat guy, I was still believing that he was hungry. So to me, that critical thinking skill is very extremely important and for us to teach children. Understand, the world is complex. Nothing is black and white, pretty much in this world. When it comes to Kim Jong-un, there's no other thing. He is black. He's a pure monster. So I would not argue with that. But most of things, I do think there's no black and white. And this is what a lot of people just get confused. If you see on the news or some certain narrative or theory explains the word in a very simple term, I do know that usually that's an error. That's wrong. So here are the few things that help me to think critically. Number 1, understand that the world is a complex place. Most of things in life is never divided between black and white. There's too much gray. When there's certain idea or theory that explains a problem in a very black and white way, often I know that that is not the right answer. One of the philosophers that I admire, Socrates, said this: "To know is to know that you know nothing. That is the meaning of true knowledge." Keeping this perspective really helped me and also make me very humble to know that I literally do not know anything. This wisdom really helped me to stay hungry for the knowledge. Memorization versus openness. In North Korea, education meant memorization. It's just all about memorizing each date, like what day Kim Il-sung was born, which day he killed how many Japanese imperialists. Literally, it was all about memorizing. But in learning, I think it's really good to have an openness where we have a room for questioning things and debating things. Number 3, diligence in seeking real knowledge. So the one mistake that I made in the beginning was I somehow thought reading articles were some kind of educational thing. So in the past, I had this misunderstanding that actually all the articles were really, true knowledge. But turns out most of them are not. They have very different motives, and also sometimes they just try to get more clicks. However, books takes forever, sometimes 25 years a person's life to write a book. It took way more thinking and planning and depth. I really encourage you to read the books because books have changed my life. After I escaped from North Korea and going to South Korea, the main challenge I had was not even adapting to this new modern, new planet that I found. It wasn't that. It was just really about how do I trust again? In South Korea when I got there, people told me Kims were dictators, I was brainwashed, and they said everything that I believed in North Korea was a lie. And at that point I was thinking, so if everything that I believed was a lie, then how do I know that you are not lying to me? It was really chaos in my mind of who to believe. When I read George Orwell's book, 1984, An Animal's Farm, that's when I truly understood what happened to North Koreans and how the system was running. So I really hope that you share my joy of learning and in actual books. Lastly, number 4, having a system. There are so many issues that we need to aware. We need to create our own unique system to process how to analyze politics or even personal relationships. Coming up with our own system is so crucial. In my case, that was a very important thing for me too, how I approach and process a problem. Everything we've covered today, even in America, we know that education is not perfect. It is up to us as individuals to seek the true knowledge and practice critical thinking skills. These are the things that help me to think critically. What are the things that help you to think critically? Please comment below, and thanks for watching.